Activating the filming in living room.
Oh, hell yeah. It's a nice day. Let's do this. Oh, the sun. Today we were talking about how I told my family, but most importantly, how I told my parents I wanted to be a creative. I wanted to be a photographer, cinematographer, a musician. It was complicated, but I wanted to share my story with you. So a bit of a quick backstory on me specifically. Originally, I thought I was gonna be an architect. I also thought I was gonna be an engineer. And then one day I picked up a camera. I was like, I kind of really like this. And I became a musician. I pursued a career as a musician for about 3 or 4 years. I was a bass player in a rock band. So I've had a career that spanned a lot of creative spaces. And I remember telling my parents at one point being like, I think I want to be a photographer. And they're like, oh, you want to be a photographer? Interesting. Do you make any money with that? Which is also the same question I get all the time as a YouTuber, but going back to it at the same point, that's always a really tough question to answer, and it also makes you feel insecure about your decision to wanting to be a creative. So it's tough to approach your family and tell them, hey, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I remember specifically at the time, my mom being a little less inclined about me going to this radio and television arts program because about 6 to 8 years ago, there was a lot of talk about television is dead, Netflix is the new king, and they're like, oh, you want to take a job in radio and television arts, and there's less and less jobs now, and we're going to spend money on your education? So she really wanted me to take a general arts program, but I stuck to my guns. I was like, no, I really, really want to go to this radio and television arts program. This is what I really want to do and where I'm going to get the best education for what I want to do in the future. So she said, okay, I guess. So then I was like, well, how do I convince her even more? So I want to share a few tips with you guys of some of the things that I did so that it was a bit easier to convince my parents this is what I wanted to do. So you have to understand the reason why your family is worried about you pursuing this career is that they want you to make a living because life costs a lot of money. If you want to own a home, if you want to rent, if you want to pay for food, all of these things cost money, which means you need a career or need to be an entrepreneur that makes income. And if they don't understand the career, they're usually gonna be like, well, you probably shouldn't do that, but here's some trustworthy options for you. So a tip that I did when I was trying to explain this to my parents was make business cases. How much money could I be making in certain jobs? So number one, explain all the different jobs that you guys could have in that industry. In my case, it could be like cinematographer, video editor, it could be content creator, it could be an on-camera personality. Explain how much they can make at the bottom end and at the high end. And in that case, they'll be more likely to be like, oh, these are the different careers that you could have, and oh, this is how much money you can make. Oh, you can afford to live. So tip number one, make a business case. So people understand life through stories. So reach out to people who have these types of careers. Ask them how they got in those positions. I mean, if you feel frank enough to ask them how much money they make, and then you can share those stories with your family and your parents, and it will be a little bit easier for them to understand why you want to do this for a living. And my last point for you is set up meetings so that your family members can meet with other successful creatives. So if you know somebody in your network, reach out to them and be like, hey, do you mind meeting with my mom and dad for just a moment so that you can explain that, yes, you can be successful in this career. Having a third party say that it can be a successful career choice can be very powerful. So would highly recommend that you either set up a meeting or go to those meetings with your family members. These are a little sharp, getting my knees. It's always funny shooting these sequences in forest because you get all these weird shadows across your face. You can kind of look like a bit of a demon at times. Anyways, we're gonna go chat right now with my friend Pat, who's been shooting some of the B-roll that you've seen today, and hear his story of when he told his parents that he wanted to be a creative. There's too many twigs here. Oh God, this is what I'll do to get good content. Just climb through forests. Ow, I'm gonna poke an eye out. Pat.
What's going on, dude?
Thanks for shooting the B-roll, man.
Anytime.
Dude, that drone shot, ooh, I don't know what this is, but that means fire.
Thank you.
So Pat and I were chatting earlier about his story of when he told his parents that he wanted to pursue a life of being a creative. Pat, tell everybody your story.
I was in high school and I really enjoyed law, and my family is in law-related things. So I figured I'm fit, why not go to school to be a cop? And ultimately I didn't want to be a cop. So I ended up doing the whole program, got the degree, and I had to tell my dad, hey look, at the end of the program, I'm sorry, but I don't want to be a police officer. At first he took it not so great, and then, you know, he kind of like settled with the fact that, okay, I want my son to do what he wants to do. And from there on in, I just took every opportunity that I could in order to pursue being a creative, and now we're here. Did
you tell your parents anything, or did you do anything to make that conversation a bit easier for you?
One of the things I did was I took certain things in filmmaking, in the creative world, and I said, hey look, there's multiple pots to put your hand in here. Things I like to do on the side as well is shoot real estate videos. Putting together a smaller outline, if you will, it was a lot easier for him to go, okay, you know what, try it out, see how it goes, and so far so good.
Making a bit of a business case, that seems to be the universal theme from my experience and Pat's experience, that your parents just want you to make a living, they want you to make an income, they want you to be okay. So if you can make a bit of a business case, that can sometimes make that conversation a bit easier. Okay. The one wheel is officially dying, and it's, oh, there we go. All right, we're gonna have to Uber back home.
Doesn't have like that much power.
Like
and it's done.
Before we close out this video, I think context is always really important. For my situation, my parents were not creatives. They didn't work in the industry. So that's a really important thing in terms of empathy and understanding if you can make money in it. And number two, if you want to be a creative, you have to remember that it's probably like the lowest barrier of entry ever. Like, you don't have to have money, you don't have to go to school, you just have to be creative and then use the tools to make certain things. So based strictly on the numbers, there's going to be more people in it because there's a lower barrier of entry into it. So there's going to be more likely more failures, and you're going to hear about more failures. So that's why people have this perception that it's hard to be a creative and make money as a creative. But there are plenty of people, there are lots of people that if you stick your guns and you network and you find certain positions and find or create your own jobs, you will be successful in it. So remember those things. Context is really important in terms of your parents' opinion. And then number two, strictly based on numbers, there's going to be more people that have failed in this industry, and you hear those stories. So we're basically at the end of this video. I kind of wanted to just leave you with some words of wisdom, some notes of inspiration. Fear is the number one thing that will stop you from doing what you love or reaching your full potential. And if telling your family that you want to be a creative is the roadblock that's in the way right now, then hopefully some of the tips in this video will help you get to that next stage. It sucks to let your family down, but it's even worse to let yourself down. So I hope this video helped a bit. Yo, I didn't mean to end on such a heavy note there. I feel like Pat was shooting, he looked super shook for a second.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, you were shooting and you were like, whoa.
It's pretty loaded. pretty loaded. But
yeah, so I mean, obviously that's some words of wisdom, but thank you guys so much for watching this video. All those things like liking, subscribing, hitting the bell to be notified for future videos means a lot. Please go check out Pat. His stuff is dope. We just appreciate every single one of you for just caring about this video or even wanting to click on it. So yeah, love you guys. Hope this helped.